present struggles, securing our present stability, and inspiring future generations. Together, we lay the foundation of a prosperous, peaceful, and sovereign of the United States of Biafra. Right here, we have the table of contents. We have the map of the United States of Biafra and the 40 states and their capital. We also have the separation of powers, the cabinet members, and departments. I'm sorry, we are using departments and not ministries. And we are going to use secretaries and not ministers. Yeah. So, organogram of Biafra government, structure of the cabinet and all the departments. So here comes the separation of powers. We have the executive power. I just have to go through the titles because if we continue talking about everything, we will not get out of here today. So we have the judicial power. We have the legislative power, that's the parliament. So here comes the cabinet of the United States of Biafra. The Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, Secretary of State, Secretary of the Treasury, the Chief of Staff, the Attorney General, that's under Justice and Legal Affairs, Secretary of Defense. And now we have the heads of departments. So as a new country, we'll be wondering why don't we have maybe, so many departments. As time goes on, we'll be expanding everything. But now we just want to start with something. Because, we don't have our resources are not just present, we have to build on it. So as we build on it, we'll be able to expand further. And also, I want to use this opportunity to state categorically that this structure, each department here, might have up to 10 to 30 units. So nobody should get worried about what you're going to do. Everybody will have something to do, please. So here we have the departments, Secretary of Interior and Homeland Security, Secretary of Transportation and Logistics, Secretary of Oil and Gas, Secretary of Health and Human Resources, Secretary of Science and Technology, Secretary of Education. Our education has suffered, so this time we are going to take it head on. Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Commerce and Industry, Secretary of Finance and Economic Development, Secretary of Community and Social Services. So let's go. So Secretary of Housing, Urban Development and Infrastructure, Secretary of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Secretary of Employment, Labor and Productivity, Secretary of Information, Telecommunication and Postal Services, Secretary of Youth and Sports, Secretary of Arts, Culture and Tourism, Secretary of Water Resources and Environmental Management, Policy and Strategic Planning. And that's all for this department. So here comes the organizational structure. Like you can see, this is the organizational structure of what I've just mentioned to you, from the cabinet members to the heads of the departments. And that's the Prime Minister's office. Let me briefly talk about it. The Prime Minister is the head of government, responsible for leading the executive branch and implementing policies to advance the nation's development. As the central figure in governance, the Prime Minister oversees national strategy, coordinates between ministries and represents our departments and represents the country in domestic and international affairs. The Prime Minister is responsible for the day-to-day administration of the government. Some of the specific duties of the Prime Minister include appointing and dismissing secretaries or ministers, no more ministers but secretaries, introducing legislation to Parliament, representing United States of Biafra at international conference and summits, making decisions on major policy issues, overseeing the work of the government bureaucracy, providing leadership to the country, and the strategic importances. He drives national progress, ensures stability, and opposes the United States of Biafra values and aspirations. The leadership shapes the government's effectiveness in delivering meaningful change and fostering unity among citizens. And those are the units under the Prime Minister. Like I said, this might be few of the units under the Prime Minister's office. As we grow, the department will expand. So please, everybody should calm their minds and be rest assured, if you are you have that skill, you have that talent, you have that experience, you're going to work for the people of the Biafra people. This is the chief of staff. Just 3 people are under his or her office, and that's the Secretary of State, Department of State. Now, here in the Department of State, we only have 8 units. So we will still have more of these units as time unfolds. So, Secretary of the Defense of the United States of Biafra. You can see we have the military, the Air Force, the Biafra Navy, the Border Control, and some other units under it. So whoever that is going to head, whoever that is the secretary of each department knows what he or she wants and knows what will make the United States of Biafra, a nation to reckon with, depending on your department. So, Department of Defense. Yeah, this is the organizational structure for the Department of Defense. And that's the treasury, the treasurer. For now, I could say they have only 5 units. As time unfolds, whoever that is the secretary knows what he or she wants, knows how to, move the United States of Biafra forward. This is the Bank of the United States of Biafra. Already, our Honorable COS has already, talked about it comprehensively this afternoon. And that's she spoke of that. Then this is the Department for Justice and Legal Affairs. Yeah, this is Employment, Labor, and Productivity. These are the duties. Education. Here, Biafra Department of Science and Technology and Education. We have, instead of bringing everything together, we want to give the best to our children. Someone mentioned about it. Was it yesterday or today? Our education is good. It was today. Someone was talking to me about the history of Biafra. We have a long way. We have come a long way, and our history cannot be written out. Because in Nigeria, I understand that some of the institutions don't even have history. So we have our voices, and we are going to tell our story and our history. Agriculture and natural resources. We have the Interior and Homeland Security. Department of Culture and Tourism. We have other units there too. Have their responsibility. We also have transport and logistics. This was a very powerful one. We have almost 30 units here. Yeah, we have our electric buses, our diesel bus depot, metro station, driverless metro, a lot. In fact, we are going to enjoy Biafra. Yeah, Department of Water Resources. We don't have pipe-borne water in Biafra. So we are going to have clean pipe-borne water in Biafra. Thank you. Then our housing and urban development and infrastructure. Was it yesterday? Reverend Anene showed us a little bit of what we have for the Biafran people. So our oil and gas. Health and human, we have more than 30 units in our health and human services. This organogram for the health department. Finance, economic development, and trade. So under the department, we have three solid departments. So whoever that is heading this, under the finance, economic development, and trade, will still have many units underneath, under the departments. Community and social services. I used to be the secretary for the women and children. So women and children services will come under community and social services. You can see we have the social assistance, family, education and orientation services, disability support, domestic and gender violence, advocacy and legal department unit, that will be unit, community development support for seniors and vulnerable groups, medical assistance, and a lot of them. Information and technology and postal services. That would be a good one. Postal services. So youth and sports, we have an amazing, I wish Gozier is here to give us a brief, kind of give us, talk to us briefly about youth and sports. He really has a lot for our youth and sports. So policy and strategic planning, that's a department under that too. Science and tech, these are science and technology. Thank you so much.
Yes, God. Biafra. We see the structure, and when we take a look at the structure, I can only say but one thing. Selector, this one is not for the dead, not for the chicken head. We chose freedom instead, and we are marching ahead. Yes, are you standing? Understanding, understanding, outstanding, and overstanding, because Biafra stand, Gidibam, watching those who cannot stand, Gidibam, showing them how to stand, Gidibam, hoping they will someday stand, Gidibam, Biafra stand, watching those who cannot stand, showing them how to stand, hoping they will someday stand, Gidibam.
The women back home country that exhibited their skills in their traditional way. I think they exhibited a drama that involved Onyendu and Simon Ekpa. How Onyendu was kidnapped, sent to, is still incarcerated by the Zoo government, and how Prime Minister now came and took the struggle. So they will show a brief drama on that, and now the dance of the women. Then subsequently we have the children dance, those back home country, that have showed their skills in cultural dance. Thank you so much.
What to vibes?
Hello, yes. Good afternoon. I hope we are having fun, and I hope we all know why we are here. and everything is going accordingly. Please, members of the lobbyist committee, before the launch, if you all can come up here so we can have some pictures. I just want to make this announcement because you guys have been working really hard. And also members of our redeclaration, that's Biafra redeclaration, the committee. Okay, during the launch, if you all can come to the stage for picture, we really appreciate that. And at the banquet, we will be giving the certificate for every member that participates, and that will encourage others. Whenever Biafra need you, do the needful.
And yay! All hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. I know we are just beginning. A new chapter is about to begin. Marching, marching, and marching to our homeland. Biafrans, it's time for lunch. We are having a late lunch, so please let us go straight to the lunchroom. We have 1 hour because today is packed with activities. Straight to the lunchroom, have your lunch, and let's be here 3:35. If you want, wear your time on your wrist, 3:35. Thank you.
God, somebody say, I just couldn't hear you, Olakala badada, nanzopota Biafra. Olakala gbada alakande maka nzọpụta wada ụfọdụ ka na-eche ka kwụọ ụgwọ ọlụ mmezi okwu ụjọ ọ maka na ha da-afụ ụzọ ịfụ na katama wee na-akwụ ụgwọ chi ukwu. Somebody help me. Asị mụnụ ịbalị mmụọ chi ukwu ị ga-ekwuwukwa eziokwu. Ịbalị mmanwụ ị ga-ekwuwukwa eziokwu ma ịfụ ya. Ụfọdụ na-emeso gara mana eziokwu na-eyi ọbara. Otu ihe ngwara ụmụ Biafra agakwa ntị onu n'ebe n'ime ọzara. Rastafari anyị n'ime ọzara, ọbata obi ya ebe anyị n'ime ọzara, ọhamadike anyị n'ime ọzara, unu nta niile nọ n'ime ọzara. Chi ukwu say bless you.
All right. Thank you, Hamadike, for the invocation. Thank you, Biafra. The reason you are seeing the pie chart is that we want to make it sync to the powers that be, wherever they may be, that the result of our self-referendum was ratified by the delegates here in this hall yesterday. Really? And it is 100% yes. Along with the declaration of the restoration of the independent United States of Biafra, the delegates said yes. That is the key data. No one
She looks like me.
shall refute that data. The people have spoken. That is why it is on the screen, so that they see it, they